I had just 5-bet folded a few hands prior to this hand, and I think this is a super interesting one. So Burgari opens on the gun. I know he opens super, super wide. Like, he can have a lot of crap here. This is a spot that I would 3-bet like 90 to 95% of the time, pretty much. But in this particular spot, I chose to just flat. Like, there was the game flow going. I had just 5-bet folded, and I know Ari's a smart guy. He definitely expects me to be 3-bet bluffing here a lot, because it's the kind of a spot that it's super good for 3-bet bluffing. And I know that he's going to be capable of 4-bet clicking it back as a total bluff, sure. And it'll be an excellent spot for him to 4-bet right now, because I had just 5-bet folded. I probably would want to be doing that again. So I just really, and also we kind of have nasty stacks here. If I make it like 1150 or 1200, he makes it 24. Like, my hands would be pretty tied. There would be nothing I can really do but fold. So I just think he would recognize that it's going to be a super good spot for him to click it back. So instead of doing what I usually do and 3-bet, I elected to just flat, because I think if I being a king or a queen on the flop, Ari is never ever going to be giving me credit, so I can just raise and play for stacks with a top pair type of hand. Also, the kinds of flops that I do miss, like 7-6-4 and stuff like that, I can represent them very well, because my flat does look like I have something like 8-7 or a small or medium pair or something like that here. So I actually do kind of dig the flat. I elected to 3-bet a really polarized range here of the nuts and bluffs, and flat with a wider range that he would expect me to. And the fun stuff starts here. Like, I don't think this is the best possible flop for me to raise, because he's gonna be having a random ace here a lot. He's gonna have, like, he's opening every hand with an ace on the gun for sure. He can definitely have a straight here, but mostly, like, when he has something like ace-7, ace-8, ace-jack, whatever, it's just gonna be harder for him to fold, because he also has the gut shot. If the flop came 6-5-4, 8-7-6, something like that, I think this would be a really excellent genius raise. On this particular texture, I don't know, it could possibly have been a good idea to just give up, but I'm not very good at just giving up, so this is what I did. My plan was to just raise and pretty much be done with it, which in retrospect is also what I should have done. Like, I just think that he still has to fold if he's got like a random hand that hasn't hit the flop in any fashion. But I don't know. When I look at it now, I kind of think that the aces are just such a big part of his range that he's not going to be folding a whole lot. Anyway, I just stabbed, and then the real fun starts when he clicks it back. Like, in game, and even now when I look at this just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I kind of, even though I know the results of this hand, I still kind of don't believe it, because I think that Ari realizes that I'm the kind of a guy who's gonna be bluff raising flops a fair bit, and this is still one of the most likely flops that I would be bluff raising. But yet at the same time, if he's got like 5-4 or aces, like any kind of overpair at all, even if he's got like bottom set, I don't think this is going to be a fist pump spot for him to play for stacks at all, because I'm never raising this with like my value range for raising this texture shouldn't be wider than like a set or a straight, pretty much. Like, if I got like 6-5 or an overpair, I'm like never ever raising this. I'm just flatting for sure. So this raise from him, it shouldn't really induce me to do anything stupid, I think. Like, I guess he owned me and thought that I wouldn't believe it and would just pass off. But like, if I was in Ari's pants, I wouldn't really want to play for stacks here with his hand, which we're gonna see soon. So I just didn't believe it. I couldn't put him on a hand here, pretty much. I didn't think he'd have a straight, because I thought he'd probably just call with it at least like half the time. But even if he has all straights and like sets of 5s and 4s, but that's it, I didn't think he'd have a set of threes, and I definitely didn't think he'd ever do this with two pair. So, like, what's he gonna have? He's definitely the kind of guy who's always gonna be, well, not always, but who's often going to be not buying my raise here and just clicking it back, trying to win the pot right there. So I kind of decided that he has got to be bluffing here a fair bit.